But eventually, you realize something. You built a life that can handle everything except yourself. Because some people aren't managing their life from peace. They are managing their lives from fear with excellent organizational skills. Achievement without sustainability becomes a very expensive way of showing success because your worth was never supposed to be measured by how exhausted you can become. You are allowed to be capable and cared for, ambitious and grounded, successful and whole. There's a version of burnout that no one talks about, the version where you are still winning. You're still meeting deadlines, still answering emails, still the person that everyone calls when something needs to be handled. People describe you as dependable, capable, strong, the one who always figures it out. But there's a question I want you to sit. What if the same thing that people are praising you for is also the thing that is very quietly exhausting you? Because sometimes the most exhausted people in your room are the ones who look the most put together. And that's what makes this dangerous. Because when you are high functioning, your struggle doesn't always look like a struggle. It looks like productivity. It looks like leadership. It looks like ambition. It looks like responsibility. But internally, you are running on a system that was built for survival, not sustainability. And the hard part, your coping strategy may actually be working. That's why you keep using it. It gets results. You accomplish things. People trust you. You get rewarded, but eventually you realize something. You built a life that can handle everything except yourself. You can manage the crisis, the project, the expectation, everyone's emotion. When was the last time you checked in on your own? Because there's a difference between discipline and being driven by pressure. There's a difference between ambition and constantly proving that you deserve your place. There's a difference between thriving and being extremely skilled at surviving. That's the conversation we're having here today. Because you may not need more motivation. You may need to understand the pattern that keeps you exhausted. Most people think that coping looks obvious. They picture someone falling apart, someone who can't get out of bed, someone who has completely stopped functioning. But sometimes coping can look like the person who got promoted, the person who volunteers, the person who answers yes before even being asked, the person who handles the pressure and makes it look easy. High functioning coping is when the behavior looks impressive externally and is powered by internal stress. Fear, the belief that if you stop, everything falls apart. Many high performers don't even realize they're doing this because these patterns typically look like protection. Maybe achievement was the most safest way to feel valuable. Maybe usefulness became the way you created belonging. Maybe independence became necessary when relying on others felt uncertain. Maybe staying busy became easier than sitting with what you were feeling. So you learned, keep moving, keep being productive, keep proving, keep caring. Eventually, you stopped noticing that you were exhausted. This is why two people can have the same success, the same title, the same responsibility, and experience life completely different. One person feels grounded, the other feels that they are constantly one problem away from unraveling. And the difference isn't always the workload. Sometimes the difference is the relationship that they have with pressure. Because some people aren't managing their life from peace. They are managing their lives from fear with excellent organizational skills. If that landed a little too close to home, stay with me. Because in the next part, we're going to talk about the hidden cost of being the person that can handle it all. I think this is where most people misunderstand burnout. They say, but I'm still functioning. I'm still showing up. I'm still getting things done. And they are right. You are. But functioning is not the same as being well. Your body keeps track. Your relationships keep track. And your emotions keep track. Eventually, something starts asking for attention. Maybe it's your emotions. Maybe it's your patience. Maybe it's your ability to feel excited about things you once loved. Maybe it's your sleep. Maybe it's your desire to be around people. Maybe it's the feeling that you are present everywhere except in your own life. And that's when you have to ask yourself, are you thriving? Have you become incredibly good at coping? See, the problem with survival mode is that it was never designed to be your primary function. Stress is supposed to be a response, a signal, a temporary state that helps you navigate something difficult. But what happens when temporary becomes normal, when pressure becomes your baseline, when urgency becomes your personality? You start adapting. You become really good at functioning inside of conditions that were never meant to be sustainable. You anticipate problems before they happen. You prepare for conversations before they happen. You mentally rehearse every possibility. You stay 5 steps ahead because feeling caught off guard feels unsafe. And after a while, you don't even know you're doing it because you call it being responsible. You call it being prepared. You call it being a leader. And sometimes it is, but sometimes it's anxiety wearing a professional outfit. And this is where high performers get stuck because the very behavior that helped you succeed can become the behavior that keeps you from experiencing peak. About the person that everybody depends on. Maybe it's you. You're the one that everybody comes to because you are calm under pressure. You're the one that can walk into chaos and create order. You are the one who doesn't panic. But here's the question. Where do you put the things that you carry? Because someone has to hold the weight. And if you're always holding it, who's holding you? A lot of high performers have mastered the appearance of looking fine. They know how to keep their voice steady, keep their calendar organized, their emotions contained, their emails, their responsibilities handled. But privately, they are tired in a way that sleep cannot, because their exhaustion isn't always physical. Sometimes it's emotional. It's the exhaustion of constantly managing yourself, managing perception, managing everyone else's experience. And burnout doesn't always announce itself. Sometimes it whispers. It looks like losing patience with small things, being irritated by questions you used to answer easily, avoiding messages because you don't have the emotional energy to respond, feeling disconnected from accomplishments that once made you feel excited. You accomplished a goal, and instead of feeling proud, you immediately move on to the next one. No celebration, no reflection, just what's next. That's a warning sign, because when your brain only knows how to chase, it forgets how to receive. But here's where this gets deeper. The biggest challenge with high-functioning coping is not the behavior. It's the identity attached to the behavior. You become the reliable one, the strong one, the problem solver, person who doesn't need much, person who can handle everything. And those identities can feel like compliments until they become cages. Because eventually you start asking, who am I when I am not accomplishing? Who am I when I am not achieving? Who am I when I am not producing? And those questions can feel uncomfortable because some people don't know how to rest. Not because they don't need rest, but because rest introduces them to a version of themselves they have not yet met. And this doesn't only affect you, it affects the way you connect. When you are used to carrying everything, receiving can feel uncomfortable. Delegating can feel risky. Asking for help can feel like a weakness. You may find yourself saying, it may just be easier for me to do it myself. And sometimes that's true, but the long-term cost is that you train everyone around you to believe you do not need support. Then one day you feel exhausted and wonder, why does no one show up for me? But the pattern started earlier. You taught people that you were always okay. And here's the part that makes this cycle hard to break. It works. Your coping strategy creates results. It helped you survive seasons that you weren't sure you would. It helped you become successful. It helped you become the person you are today. The goal is not to criticize the strategy. The goal is recognizing that when a strategy that protected you is now limiting you. Because sometimes the thing that got you here won't be the thing that will allow you to get where you're going next. Now let me clarify something. This is not a conversation about lowering your standards. This is not about becoming less ambitious. This is not about abandoning excellence. It's about changing your source of power. Because there's a difference between moving with purpose and moving with pressure. The Bible says, I have to do this or everything will fall apart. Sustainable success says, I can choose to do this without abandoning myself. That distinction changes everything. A lot of people define strength as endurance, how much you can handle, how much you can carry, how much you can push through. But mature strength looks different. Strength is awareness. Strength is knowing your capacity. Strength is recognizing when your system needs adjustment. Strength is being able to pause without feeling like you are losing momentum. Because discipline without self-awareness becomes self-abandonment. Achievement without sustainability becomes a very expensive way of showing success. So the goal is not to do everything. The goal is becoming someone who knows what deserves your energy. That means Not every opportunity deserves a yes. Not every problem deserves your immediate attention. And not every expectation deserves access to you. Your capacity is a resource. And successful people don't just manage their time. They manage energy, attention, focus, and emotional bandwidth. The deeper work is learning that you can exist without constantly earning your place. You can rest and still be valuable. You can ask for help and still be capable. You can slow down and still be successful, because your worth was never supposed to be measured by how exhausted you can become. So let's make this practical. Here are the shifts that help you move from surviving at high capacity to actually living at a sustainable level. Number one, identify your default survival pattern. Pay attention this week. When pressure shows up, what do you automatically do? Do you overwork, over-explain, over-control, over-help, disappear completely, shut down, or disappear emotionally? Your pattern is not random. It is information. You cannot change what you refuse to acknowledge. Number two, create a new response. The next time you feel the urge to immediately jump into your old pattern, resist it. Pause before saying yes. Ask, is this aligned with my priorities? Or is this me trying to prove something? That question alone can change how you move. Number three, practice rest without earning it. For many high performers, rest can feel like a reward, something you receive after you've finished everything. But the problem is, everything is never finished. Rest is not a prize. It's a part of the system. Your mind needs recovery. Your body needs recovery. Your leadership needs recovery. Number four, redefine your identity. The goal is not becoming someone who does less. The goal is to become someone who no longer needs to destroy themselves to become successful. You are allowed to be capable and cared for, ambitious and grounded, successful and whole. Because the next level of leadership is not always about becoming more impressive. Sometimes it's becoming more honest. You are the person that everyone believes has it all together, but privately you are running on empty. Pay attention. Question may not be, how do I push through? The question may be, why have I been carrying so much for so long? You adapted. You learned how to survive. You learned how to perform. You learned how to keep going. But survival was never supposed to become your permanent identity. Eventually, there becomes a moment when functioning is no longer enough. You want peace. You want clarity. You want to feel connected to your own life again. And that shift happens when you stop glorifying exhaustion and start listening to what your body and your mind have been trying to tell you. So I want you to comment below. What is one survival strategy that you are ready to release? And if you are ready to build sustainable success without abandoning yourself, subscribe and come back to the room, because we are learning to grow without leaving ourselves behind. Until next time, protect your peace, honor your capacity, and give yourself permission to be human.